morning. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's reading is a straightforward, their feelings for you right now. I have got some new cards. I've just went to the post box to get them. These are for your choices. They're pictures from my camera because I think that oftentimes we overlook how beautiful our lives are. And there's another combination that goes with this. Those Farrow and Ball paints that you get with really silly names on, like mole's breath. That's, for some reason, they make me laugh. So I've put those two things together in here. So these are your choices today. Thrift shop knit for number 1. Olympic blue for number 2. And number 3 is Sicilian Nights. So those are your choices. What fantastic lives we all have, eh? Most of the time. There you go. So if you want to take your choice, then we'll get started. If any of those means anything to you, or you just like the colours or the name or something. Let me get this straight because it's niggling me. There you go.
La música de Harry Frog.
Okay, without really thinking too hard, which I'm very good at doing, not thinking too hard, there's a feeling here of, I should think sometimes, there's a feeling here of somebody who's got an idea with regards to fulfilling something that they feel that they should be doing on this earthly plane, something that is very, the word substantial keeps coming to mind. I was about to say, and I had to stop myself because it means absolutely nothing, but there's something in that word that sprang to mind, something that's substantial, something that has a feeling of security, something that feels solid, wholesome and proper with regards to their feelings towards you. There'll be more in this yet. You've got them coming across here as the Ten of Earth, and there's Chiron here. So when I put these two together, earthy people are very much involved in life in a way that it has to feel real. There has to be some sort of something they can touch, something they can hold, something of substance. So maybe that's where the word came from, substantial. Maybe it did. It's a feeling of somebody that likes to have a home, likes to have a bit of money in their pocket, likes to have relationships that aren't online, likes to have, they need them in front of them, likes to eat good food, likes to hold people, likes to hug people, likes to go out in nature, that type of feeling. But with Chiron here, to me, there's a feeling that there's some sort of hiccup inside this person. And my first thoughts were, because it's the Ten of Earth here, of something to do with parental issues, like the parent or one particular parent did something with their life, either had a very good marriage or a not particularly good marriage, and they'd like to have something that that was better. Or there's a feeling here, perhaps career choices or career aims play a part in this person's life. So that's the feeling I've got at the moment. And you've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Central Pile as well. So you're coming across here as the Ten of Water and Lilith. So there's something very like the mixture of earth and water, which is a beautiful mixture most of the time, although it would actually make mud, but there's something in that mud. There's something beautiful in that mud. You've got Lilith down here, so to me, I wonder whether you are somebody who is very sensitive, but somebody who's almost, with that feeling here, it could be somebody who jumps the gun with regards to taking a negative, or thinks that somebody has a negative viewpoint. The Lilith card is a bit of a scrapper in some ways. It's somebody who fights for the, who's that woman that keeps getting interviewed, and every time I see her, she's being slightly jumping the gun and being antagonistic. She was in those Marvel films. Brie Larson, yeah. I saw her being interviewed the other day and she was fine, but I don't know whether, media pick things to make it more exciting. There's a few interviews where she is being arsey, really, without need to be, and it's always a little bit uncomfortable to watch. And I know that it's quite a lot of Aries and Mars, so she's not going to bother her, basically saying what she's thinking. Anyway, so the Ten of Water isn't Mars type. It's very sort of Actually, Lilith can often feel like a thwarted Mars, but the Ten of Water is a feeling of somebody who perhaps had a very secure childhood, this is you, or perhaps yearns for that type of security that this person yearns for. But this person's yearning, both of your yearnings are coming from places that you may not have questioned, that may need a little bit of questioning, not because they're wrong, but sometimes if something gets taken away from you that you're yearning for, there could be a feeling of pain that you haven't quite acknowledged why it's there. Just thoughts here, because the Lilith and the Chiron are difficult to cope with. But they are just, the rest of the spread is fine, but those are just bits. Everybody has these bits inside them when we basically react in a way that shocks ourselves. And you realise there's some sort of hurt, there's some sort of feeling of inadequacy, or feeling that people don't see you as important as you feel that you should be. Lilith there. Lilith has been ostracised from the group at some time, possibly if you believe in past lives. There will be a time when you have shown your sexual nature or been making fun of, or where you have been too strong and the other women have pushed you out of the group, or that type of thing. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female. If you're male, it can tend to shift a little bit more towards not expressing those feminine parts of yourself, seeing them in somebody else, and then finding them slightly upsetting because you haven't quite come to terms with yourself. Anyway, what I've got so far is an overview of somebody, two people that like to accumulate. You've got the two tens on either side. They're looking for something to build, and you've got the Ace of Pentacles in the middle. The Chiron and the Lilith here feel that somewhere along this journey, there's going to be bits where you feel like you hit a bumpy patch, and you're going to be acting from parts that have nothing to do with either of you and your relationship. So this will all link into their feelings, which I'll try and get to as I've gone through the pile. Okay, Ace of Pentacles in the centre, and this has got more of an internal view of you, what's going on really deep inside. And the Ace of Pentacles is this person I could go far with. I want to say, because the tens here, marriage, but to me it's a commitment that is serious, and they want to build on it in some way. And you've got here the Six of Wands here. The fact that you're both coming out as a funny, reflective energy over here, but slightly different. There's something in the similarity between the pair of you that feeds this relationship, because you both think that you're giving the same thing to the relationship, or you both think you've got the same aim. At some point along the line, with the Moon card here, and talking about these cards over on this side, you're going to feel like Cinderella, possibly, or one of you or both of you will feel like Cinderella that has fallen out of the white pumpkin. And this will have something to do with these two parts here. So I suppose what I would say here before we get onto their feelings is be totally honest with yourselves why you really, really, really want this relationship to work. What is behind it? I don't know the answer, and I can't see the answer, but there is something here that speaks of, I don't know here. I'm going to say things, they may sound negative, but it's more a case of my observations of people I have seen that show these qualities, not of you. So please change it to what suits you or what feels right to you. The Ten of Water and Lilith could often be somebody who sees the rest of the family or friends settling down with children, and then feels like they want to be part of the group, because Lilith wants to be part and be, but doesn't really, if you know what I mean. They want to feel as if they belong, but when they don't feel it, they often basically come out all guns blazing. Lilith, they've got a card there, if they sense it maybe. The Ten of Wands, it's very feminine, it's very much picking up things that may be behind the scenes. The Ten of Water would add to that. So what would throw your person out of the pumpkin? The Ten, oh my God, how silly do I sound? The Ten of Earth and Chiron here would be not achieving, possibly, not measuring up to what their parents thought or what they thought their parents thought, or not feeling good enough or seen, maybe, or not being where they are in their careers yet. So with regards to feelings, what I'm getting so far is you identify with each other. This person feels like you are the same vibration without doubt. There's a feeling that you two could end up getting married. I can't think of a different word there, but married or have a long-term commitment, and that would feed both of what you both need. It will feel good to both of you. So you just know that feeling. To take that all away and all the bits that I've been talking about, you meet somebody and they feel like long-term potential. This is what this person's feeling when they see you. You've got here the Sacred Fire at the beginning, and the Raw Cash test, it took me a year to say that, I think it's right now, was stuck, totally stuck to the bottom, so they came out together. But the Sacred Fire and the Raw Cash test, to me, the Sacred Fire is something that burns inside us and we bring from one lifetime to the next. Oftentimes I think it's like emotional imprints inside ourselves, and that's when we recognise people. It's almost like an unravelling of those imprints. It's like, yeah, I know you, there's a memory there, and sometimes that can be brought back very easily with, this sounds ridiculous again, with smells. Oftentimes we smell something and we're flicked back into some sort of memory. It's extremely strong. But with regards to people, you can get that feeling just like a deja vu feeling. It's like, I know you. So that has got this feeling that this person knows you. So there's something very profound in this person that feels like it's the right direction, which you're getting from here and here and here and here and here and here and here. But also with the Raw Cash test at the bottom, it's like, do with this what you will in this lifetime. I sound like a Jane Eyre book, don't I? I love Jane Eyre. And this to me is like the old children's nursery rhyme. Is it Mr. Finnegan Begin Again? This is like walking away and this is beginning, and the star card is how to do it with a little bit more beauty in it, a little bit more awareness, a little bit more insight, a little bit more, because this makes me think of astrology and looking forward, and this has got that feeling of an internal knowing, and then this time you can almost feel your way through this relationship. You yourself are able to predict what's going to happen next if you sat yourself still and thought about it. And sometimes, which I also always mean to say at the beginning of readings, that's what tarot is. It's that ability to look inside ourselves, to see these are like the raw bones of what may be going on behind the curtain. And then somebody will translate it through you, normally through their own mindset, through their own experiences. But you've got to take that yourself and have internal, or understand your own internal movement, I suppose. So the star card here is this person's feelings towards you are projecting a future forward, very much so with this, but it's almost like I know you, I feel you, but let's start again with a blank slate. You've got carrying on here the King of Pentacles, which is the feeling all the way through. So your person may be very earthy or may have strong earth in there somewhere. You've got here the Empress again. It has a feeling of, I said substantial at the beginning, but what I mean is like, I always get tripped up for this because, and you've got to excuse me because a lot of this is coming from my background, and my upbringing was incredibly not very traditional. My mother was not traditional at all. She was in some ways. She was Capricorn, but she had so much Aquarius in her that it was different. So the Empress here, with all this earth energy, is somebody that wants to settle. And I understand that. I really do understand it. I feel that, not just understand it. Likes the thought of having children, having that garden that's beautiful. Likes that feeling of sharing meals and talking around the table and having children running out of rooms. Oh my Lord. So why have you got these two cards here? Why have you got this one-upmanship? Because of the Lilith here and because of the Chiron here. And why have you got this watching and waiting, then you're falling out the pumpkin? So somewhere along the line, this person feels that they're still trying to compete rather than express themselves. And they're trying to understand that. This feels quite a reflective pile. Feels like somebody knows themselves very well. Somebody who has an aim with regards to where they want to be in 10, 20 years' time. You're included in this. But there's a fear in here as well that could often trip them up. And I feel that you fall into that patch too. I think that this person can lead you into a place where you're reacting from a part inside yourself that you may not totally understand. I don't know if that makes sense with the Lilith card here, which would be fear of being shut out. Fear of being shut out, fear of not being loved, fear of not being good enough, and fear of not being your voice being heard, or not being able to assert yourself, or going into what I would say a very, very traditional role when you've got a little bit of wildness about you. You don't like to be tied down too much. But then again, within here and the fact you've got the exchanging energy, there may be something between the pair of you. You identify with the fact that this person needs a secure base, but you don't want it to be stifling. You don't want to feel choked by too much mundanity. You need change as well. So there's differences in the pair of you, but a huge amount, well, definitely enough to bring you together in a way that feels very strong. But there's something going on between the pair of you, as I've said, that feels like when you're just about to get what you feel like is an accumulation of your needs met, with the 10s and the 10s here, there's a bite in this with the moon down here. So their feelings with regards to what I've just read will be a feeling of, you're the one that I'd like to have a future with, I'd like to settle with, you're the one I'd like to have children with, or at least feel like I could sit around the table and we could eat together and enjoy life's, you know, good bits, the food, the wine, the days out, the travelling. Oh my God, I'm going to start adding my own on here. I need to stop. What do earthy people love? The garden. The drive out with a bottle of champagne in the... I'm talking about people that live near me. An old couple. They, second marriage, Virgo and Leo, the pair of them. He's very into... I won't say the cars because he's got his own car website, so he loves his cars. Virgos basically puts them to bed and wraps them up, and he honestly does. And she's very warm and welcoming. And a little bit of a hint of wildness in her. And what they do is they put I'm sure it's wicker, I'm making this up, the wicker bit, a wicker basket, like hamper in the back of the car, and some fizzy drink, and then they go off and they drive off into the moors, which is very sort of Bronte sisters. And they open the back of the boot of the car, and they sit there, and they're probably like 70s, 80s, maybe 80s actually. And I think that's beautiful. And that's the reason why I picked these cards. You know, there's such beauty in what is we can do every day, and we sometimes life takes us away and we go off in different directions. So their feelings, they want to find the beauty in everyday life. There is a feeling that you are long-term potential. There's a feeling that you can both make each other feel good, physically good. You're attracted to each other. There's an ease or a reciprocated admiration, I think, for the way that you both look here. There's a feeling inside this person that they know you already. There's a feeling here that we can do with this relationship what we want or what we will. But there's also a feeling of freshness about this. And once again, you're going to get this if we come down to earth, aren't we? Really, it's like a blank slate. Okay, but there is some knowing there. But with the star here, this person, to me, has got a feeling of knowing, but excitement with where this can possibly go. Then you've got earthy things here, the King of Pentacles and the Empress card. To me, marriage, kids, fire, warmth, school gates, summertime journeys together, you know, all those sort of like long-term things that people share together. I can't think of any other ones here. Now, their feelings have got a tinge of something that I feel could bring arguments into your relationship, or upsets or things that neither of you quite understand, and they can possibly sense. And that will be a feeling of not wanting to get hurt, or perhaps aiming for things and feeling that a long-term relationship might get in the way of their earthly desires, which may sound ridiculous because they will get them met here with regards to like family attainment. That's the Ten of Pentacles feeling here. But the carry on here is perhaps that their aims may be quite driven by demons, I suppose, in some way. So and there's a fear that you... Okay, these are thoughts here. If they're very career orientated, which is possible with these cards here, then there's a fear here that relationships might get in the way of what they need to attain, and that may be driven from a family environment. There's a feeling here as well that you're coming from the same sort of energy, that in order to have this feeling of security that you're both driving towards, because there's a strong attraction to each other, that with the Lilith card here that you're going to feel tied down. So there's something simmering underneath this, I think, that I wouldn't speak out directly to, but it would be a case of setting things at ease slowly with introducing a recognition of your own needs into this so that you don't fall out of the pumpkin and it doesn't all become some sort of smashed illusion. So, to leave you with 5 words, their feelings towards you are reciprocal attraction. That's 2. That's 2. I don't think they go very well together. Tinge of fear towards what you both feel is maybe attainment in a relationship. A feeling of intense recognition and you're on the right path and excitement with where this has got to go. And their feelings towards you is you're the right one for me. And there's that Swedish horror film that Let the Right One In. So, Thrift Shop Knit, that's what I've got for you. I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much for spending time with me. Bye. Okay, this has got very, very strong feelings, different from the first pile, but similar. I'll tell you straight away what I'm thinking because it will go out of my head. To me, you are safe harbour after a storm to this person. There's a feeling here, this could very much be for 2 women. There is a feeling here that you both may have had difficult childhoods or something difficult has happened in your life, something that you may both share in some ways. And it's like, let's move on together. Let's make some form of commitment. But it's not the same sort of commitment that's in pile number 1. Pile number 1 commitment is coming from a very earthy viewpoint, which in some ways could be referred to as very traditional, which I always feel, no, I'm not gonna apologise. There's the typical sort of, I'm going to move on. Traditional commitment, whatever that means to you. This has got a different pile. This is somebody who isn't bothered about having a wedding ring maybe, isn't bothered about a church wedding, even though you've got this in the centre, but you've got the Emperor with the Anarchy sign underneath. This is somebody, I feel your person's a strong person with regards to their identity. They don't take their identity from the outside world or from things that have already happened. There's a feeling here of this person watches a lot, there's even a feeling they could be quite antagonistic with regard to their beliefs because they're a searcher, is what I'm thinking here. You've got the Sisters of Fire. What is that? You haven't got the Sisters of Fire. You've got the 3 of Fire and Vesta. God, Lord, sometimes, it's like I'm not going to say I'm a babe, but from the mouths of babes, sometimes things come out in your mind. That's why I'm probably thinking of women in this. The 3 of Fire and the Vesta card is somebody who's a searcher, but somebody who likes to have a feeling of sisterhood, if that makes sense. So there's a feeling here of being quite, not vulnerable, but there's a feeling of insight that's quite internal, quite receptive and wanting to be part of a group. And this group has to move. You've got the Wheel of Fire in the centre. So this is like 2 people that travel together, move together, don't particularly want to stay still. 2 people that want to feel joined because their hearts are joined. And I'm not saying that, as I started off with a traditional feeling here, hearts can be joined, but there are bits that may come with that are based on what people feel are right, maybe from what they've seen. This person feels that hearts joined, but we can move forward in a way that is healing. And there's no other way to put this, so I hope I'm not being rude here. I try really hard not to be rude. But sometimes I can't, because sometimes it is coming through what I know, and I know it's basically my upbringing as well, and I'm trying not to. Anyway, let's keep moving. The 4 of Water here and the Aries card here. The Aries card is like the wrecking boy in some ways. The 4 of Water here is somebody, as you can see, that you may be going through a time period where you feel that you've had some tough times and you're wondering when it's going to end. Sat in the mud, what's coming next? This person is a searcher. You're probably a searcher, but you're probably on the trough of your searching process. This person, by standing on the edge of the water, well, on edge of the coast, I suppose, looking at the water, is on the peak. And there's a feeling here this person wants to take you with them. It's like travel with them, move with them. And it doesn't have to be travelling externally, as in like in the mundane way, like getting on a boat or getting on a plane. This is somebody that wants to move through life with you and experience things. You've got the Three of Swords here, which is making my eyes shift back to this bit here. And you've got feelings of somebody who is, you've got water here, the Queen of Cups, and then moving away. I feel that you've both been through tough times, that are, really tough times. Maybe lost people or lost houses or situations that really could bruise. But I feel with the Wheel of Fortune that you're those people who both of you get up and stand up and start again. It's really, really strong feeling this. The High Priestess in the centre with a sense of understanding of this is life, and a sense of detachment and understanding and softness in the processes that you've both been through. There's a feeling of hope in this, but there's also a feeling of, and I'm wondering if this is coming from your person because it feels like it is, of wanting a commitment with you that moves. But with the Emperor card here, I don't want to do it in a way that that's expectant. That's not expectant from you, but expectant from what society feels that you should fulfill. There's something a bit of a rebel here. It wouldn't surprise me if your person had their own business or couldn't work very well for other people, because they're just that type of person that has their own ideas and is not afraid. The Starseed card here, and the King of Pentacles and the healing. It's like you've been given this time together in this lifetime to heal this feeling here. Mainly you, to be honest. There's a feeling here that I'll say a couple of things here because they're springing to mind, and it's like you've really lost in relationships, whether you've actually physically lost somebody in this lifetime that meant a lot to you, whether you've been shut out of certain situations, or you've been through periods of depression, even with the Four of Water, or periods where life just feels so tough that you can't see ahead of yourself. And we all get those times in our lives. And the Aries card it's like it keeps pounding at you in some way. And sometimes just when you think you are getting out of the quagmire, something comes back and hits you again. So to me, this combination is almost like, like a Pluto transit where it hits 3 times. It's like, okay, 1, 2, 3, and you can't even get up for breath. Your person, I think, identifies with this feeling. But the Vesta card here, as I said, has that feeling of sisterhood. But with the Starseed card here, it's like you're given time together to be able to heal each other, to be able to spend time together, and to be able to raise the drawbridge here. This person would love that, to fight with life and to come to your own conclusions. What do you both want in life, not what is set out in front of you. You could even be of a certain age where you get to feel like this anyway. When you've followed everybody else's ideas, or you've worked for people and you thought, you go into it trusting, and they end up being, difficult to work with. And so you start looking at them as human, as we all are. But this is like full of hope. This is all full of giving you a feeling of security that may not be a traditional, in everybody else's eyes, may not look secure. But to you, it's what you need. So let's start looking at their feelings here. So their feelings for you are, I want you in the way, why is it turning into a channel message? I want you in the way that I want you. I want you to feel like I'm holding you and that everything's okay. And in that process, I get something from myself, because there's something, I would say, otherworldly, or there's something quite fulfilling about your presence that I can't quite put my finger on, but feels incredibly right to me. The feelings towards you are, whatever you've been through, I feel that by being together, life will feel less coarse. There's a feeling here that you've had difficult times, and possibly got up and walked away from situations that, and maybe with a loss of faith In relationships, maybe a loss of faith in life in general, which is this feeling here. But you're a fighter and so am I. And that's how we come together. That's what we identify within each other. It's that ability to keep pushing. And the Starseed card here is their feelings towards you. They feel that they can make your life easier. So there's an attraction with wanting to, there's a recognition of your guts and your force, the force be with you in some way. The way that you force, Aries isn't force, what's the word? The way that you attack life. And there's some security that this person could have a fire moon. Because if I'm looking at these like family cards here, I'm looking at you being a bit of a fighter, even though you've had difficult times. This person could have a fire Aries, could be strong in this person's chart. Aries, Capricorn here. And they're looking for, but it's not Aries, Capricorn. They're going to identify more with the Aries and the Capricorn. This is more of a fighter than more of a traditional feeling here. And with the spray cans here, to me, the Five of spray cans, which is the Five of Swords, it's normally part of a relationship. People interpret it as in there's a feeling of an inequality with regards to arguments. One always feels like they've got one leg up or over and the other one doesn't. And with the spray cans here, I feel because of the way that your cards fall and the Emperor in the centre, that you feel, I'm going to say conjoined, I know it's the wrong word, but joined together with regards to your outside fight in the world. So it's a bit of a D'Artagnan pile, this one. All for one and one for all. So their feelings towards you are, we are better together than apart. We're both very similar. I'm going to use the word spunk because I like that word and it has a different meaning here. I don't know if it's the same anywhere else. I like the fact that you are wise enough to know what's happened. I like your fight. I like, as in like the High Priest didn't explain that. I like the way that you understand why and how, and you feel it and you go through the process, but you still keep moving with fire in your eyes here. We're given time to be able to heal each other, and this person knows that. Their feelings towards you is that you heal them and they want to take care of you in a way that isn't cloying, but in a way that is protective, but still, let's get up, stand up, let's keep moving. So I don't know what's happened. I feel that your person may have had tough times, to the fact that they've learned how to hold on to people without demanding. With this Vesta card here is that sisterhood card. It's like, I can look after you, we can move together, but I don't need that, as I keep saying, in that very that way that makes you feel like you're tied to me. It's like we can heal each other with these cards here. We've got this chance to be able to spend this time together, and I don't know the time span here, but there's some time span here to be able to heal each other. And I feel that this person's going to be good for you. And I think this person feels like a healer. You get this type of feeling with I've seen this with mainly secondary school teachers, to be honest, with the Emperor card and the Wheel of Fortune, because the Aries Sagittarius doesn't fit very well into primary schools because it's a bit feisty. You often get heads with it, but not often teachers with it. It's a secondary school sort of flavour to me, but there's still that need to make things whole. So they tend to work, with kids that are tough. So this person may have that sort of type of energy about them, where they like to heal, they like to pay. There are probably words for this. I know that you can get like extroverted feeling. I don't know these things, but those type of, what they're called, not Mandelson tests. The extroverted feeling into, I don't know, observant and outward moving and healing type person, whatever that fits into. And that's their energy. And there's something about you that they can sense in you. You may be more introverted, to be honest, but you're still a fighter. So this person identifies with you. Sorry, I won't actually tell you their feelings. I get into a story and I'm enjoying myself and I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine people who have this life and how interesting and this and that. Okay, but I need to tell you the actual answer to the question. So their feelings in 5 words would be protective, admiration, wanting to intrigue, wanting to spend more time with you, recognition of your receptive, intuitive knowing in life, and still your ability to fight through it, even though you're quite maybe introverted in some way, and wanting to spend. Their feelings towards you are join me because we can do this together. I would guess with this card here, I'd raise the drawbridge with the Emperor. So I feel that your person is really interesting. I feel that there's somebody that they don't really take other people's thoughts or opinions into account. They fight for what their beliefs, and they're a strong person, and they include others. So it's a rare find, that I think, somebody who's gently strong, I would guess here, and doing it all for the right reasons. Yeah, this person wants you to join their gang and to make the best of yourself with them alongside. It's like, we can do this. I recognise you in me. Let's move. Let's make the world a smaller place, and let's have fun while we do it. You've got the Wheel of Fortune there. So this person, and there's a healing quality in that. Okay, pile number 2, Olympic Blue. Bye. Oh, wow. Pile number 3. What can I say? Let's start. Sicilian Nights. I have got a secret love affair going on with Italy. I have had it since I was young. I try and learn Italian. I'm absolutely bloody awful, but I would love to restart again. So nice card to pick. There is a feeling in here. This is like when your boss brings you into his office to give you a review, and they start off, and you can tell they're starting off with something really mundane before they say something like, oh my God, you're absolutely crap. But it's like, yeah, I like the way you wipe down tables. It's that type of feeling. But let's get stuck into it. So let's get into the boss's review. Not that I'm boss, but this is a tough pile, to be honest. You've got the 10 of fire. 10s have come up in every pile here, and you've got the Mars card here. So once again, 10 of fire has a feeling of heaviness with regards to your person, or carrying a load, and the Mars card there makes it feel as if this person could somehow push that energy outwards. So this would be somebody who could snap occasionally, or somehow is drained but still fighting. There's that type of feeling here. The 10 of fire as well. This person could be weighed down by life, but the fire here, I don't know. You're going through a difficult time and maybe reacting to it, possibly, with the Mars card here. You've got the 2 of water, which is my favourite card, and especially with these pictures here. So the 2 of water is feeling attraction, I guess, and recognising yourself in somebody else, and it feeling good. With the Aries card here, is that can feel like, I want to say love bomb, but that's got a different meaning. It could feel like a love bomb without the meaning being what it means today. It's like everything could explode because of your attraction. The cards at the top are difficult. I'll just explain the cards before I go into their feelings. You've got the Death card, you've got the 3 of Swords, and the Strength card, and this is more internally what they're feeling towards you. This is like could have been a situation that's broken up, or you've argued, or you're not together at the moment, and it feels difficult. Maybe that they're blaming you for something that you don't even know what you've done, but you're quite aware that you could possibly get blamed for something. It's like, this to me feels like somebody who, there may be an immaturity with regards to emotions here. It's like they kick out before they've thought type of feeling. And maybe that's what they've always done. And the relationship could have ended, or you couldn't have seen each other, or words were expressed. And they are somehow, possibly, there's a feeling here of blaming you, but with the Mars card here, it's like a sentence that went through their head and it's gone. There's nothing quite like fire for forgetting an argument and moving on really quickly. I can say really well then. but because you've got underneath this cards of confidence and attraction and working on it. So to me, things could have been exchanged between the pair of you that could have affected their feelings, but they're all forgotten. It's like, what's next? Let's move on. Or you could have had a situation that hurt, maybe separated from each other, or you haven't seen each other for a long time and it feels tough and that person is blaming you for that. And you're thinking, what on earth? I'm still attracted to you, but you can somehow sense it here. With these cards here, it's like this person said, oh, it's all right. They could have even met somebody who said something that felt complimentary towards them and it changed the whole perspective of it. But in the meantime, you may have been on the wrong end of their fighting stick. What is that? Better than love stick, yeah, I suppose so here. But you've got here moving away with what I guess is a feeling of being tied, mentally tied into a situation. You've even got the Tower under here. So I've got to have to translate this with what I can see, and it may not suit you because you've got the Tower here twice. So there's something big going on in here with regards to their feelings. This person's a fighter. This person can, I think, kick outwards in some ways, or sometimes put the blame onto others, or sometimes feel overwhelmed in life because you've got the Tower card here and you've got these difficult feelings. This person is trying hard to move on from something that's happened between the pair of you, is what I'm thinking here, which is expressed here with movement away and here with feeling tied with regards to their thoughts. Everything that they thought that was real in their life with regards to your relationship collapsed some way, I think, and their immediate reaction is to blame others. Oh dear. You've got the Strength card over here as it moves onwards, but still with a Tower and this gleeful feeling here. So the Strength card to me is still fighting with what you've got here and what you've got here and here and here. The Strength card I normally translate, because I love the Strength card, it's those leonine qualities when somebody owns themselves and is warm towards other and gives out. And there's something incredibly beautiful about that in life in general. You know, those people that just nail it. You know, they know who they are. They move through life with a bit of a confidence, but not at the threat, or not in a way that puts other people below them. It's like, it's kindness and strength together with the Strength card here. So this person, I feel, is trying to use their fire in a way that is more dignified than just fighting. I'm going to say because they think they won, but I don't know. The Tower card here is things have been taken away from them. Their feelings have been bruised somewhere along here. They've tried to push the blame outwards, and they're trying, the Strength card and the Hermit card, to look internally, possibly for the first time in their life, because it's too difficult not to. They can't get themselves out of a situation, which has got to be something to do with your relationship that feels heavy. And they're working, trying to... This person, you may not be with them because this has got a feeling of somebody's working hard on themselves. This has got healing power without the healing cards in it. And I guess they're doing a good job on it, but it's like there's been like... This is like, oh, not the Dark Night of the Soul feeling here, because it's coming on later on in the pack. With regards to you, it's like they've tried to get over a hump, some situation, some anxiety, some feeling the threat, some feeling that you've walked away, some separation between the pair of you, maybe some argument, some loss has gone on in their life. And they're trying really hard to get up, stand up, don't give up the fight type of feeling. It's so uncool when I sing these feelings here, but it's in doing so, it's taken them down a darker path of recognising bits of themselves that they've always shoved outwards and blamed other people for. And now they're having to look at themselves. So there's something inside themselves they struggle with. Okay, so their feelings towards you, I think, are... Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of lines from The Exorcist here. When the lady on the bed, who's the priest's mum, said, "Why do you do it to me?" That's that feeling here. Why did you do it to me? And it's caused me such turmoil. So their feelings are confused. Their feelings are pushing outwards, which I've said, and their feelings are heavy towards you in particular at the moment will be this pile down here. It's a feeling of hurt, gone on between the pair of you. So their feelings are, they're struggling with them. They are trying to restart and do the best for both of you, to feel good again, to make you feel good, to work together with these cards here. And it's actually it's killing them. It's taking most of their strength to do that, because this person normally reacts with a sharp line or a walk away, or they react with their ego in a very fast way, and this is reacting with a lack of ego in a very slow, mature way, and it's causing them some inner turmoil. This is quite difficult to turn around to feelings because there's a lot going on inside this person. They're happy with their progress, I guess, but in the meantime, you having the Aries card and the Two of Water, I feel that you're hurt in this relationship over something that's happened. You know, with the Death and the Three of Swords and the Tower card twice, there's the Mars card here, there's a fight going on in this one. So let me try and translate this to feelings, which is going to be really hard. Their feelings for you right now are, I'm trying to do the best thing. I'm trying to get over those immature bits inside of me, which I've reacted with automatically before. I want to be with you because you make me feel good, and because I'm from Mars, and I know I make you feel good too, and I'm prepared to put the effort in. If I've hurt you before, I'm really sorry. I've felt that I've had a bit of a dark night of the soul since we've been together, and I feel more at ease with myself now, but I'm still on a road, I'm still on a journey, and I'm finding it hard. There's not a lot of watery cards in here. This person's fighting with themselves, so to say. I'm talking about feelings, and you've only got this watery card here, and then you've got what a difficult card. So this person's struggling with some situation, and at the moment they're trying to work towards you with confidence and with a sense of maturity, so their feelings will come out in a way that is far more acceptable and far more deserving for you coming across as the Two of Water. So if I could translate this to an everyday situation, this could be two people that have met and then not been able to meet again, and your person's blaming you for not picking up the phone or calling, and they've taken that as an insult. But you're like, well, you can pick up the phone as well. I'm bruised too, and I thought that you were going to do it. Perhaps you don't like me, and it's caused them to go through, through some sort of internal process which they needed. So, everything has its fine timing in some way. It could have been a relationship that finished, or you've left somebody through an argument, and this person's trying to do the correct things with themselves before they come back to you. You make them feel good, and they want to come back fully formed here, rather than just half baked and going over the same situation again and again. With these cards here, they're thinking about it. So pile number 3, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thank you very much for joining me today. Bye.